Somebody asked me about Christian Kirksey, the linebacker from the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
And so I got a scouting report on that one as well. Hold on one second. If I got to find that.
He was a starter for them. I did also see that the
Yeah.
Broncos just traded one of their tight ends, Albert O, to the Eagles.
The guy from Missouri who nobody can pronounce his name.
But he ran an amazing 40 time.
Yeah, exactly. So
the Eagles just got him.
Oh, the Eagles just picked up Albert O.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. All right. Here we go with Kirksey. Good leader, batting coverage, inconsistent against the run, but will give you decent stretches and make occasional big plays. So, and one of the reasons too that they said the Texans cut this guy, they saved about $5.2 million on the cap.
Oh wow!
Was another reason why that he did that. So
Cowboys had a similar opportunity with Jordan Lewis, but decided to keep him.
Yeah, they sure did. Okay, the player that we traded for, Zach, the last name is, how do you say the correct way of saying it?
Igbinoghene.
Okay. So that's, I want to go back. I got a report on him just a second here from Gang of Seven.
And this is just a player trade. Just
this
Joseph
this is just a straight player.
Corner for corner.
Yeah, straight player trade here. So I asked about, is this guy any good? And my guy says, good? No. Functional, though. Athletic, but instincts hold him back.
Sure.
Good dude, wired right, more of a fourth or fifth, can play on special teams.
So more reliable than Kelvin Joseph, but not the upside.
Yeah, it sounds like much more reliable. But, But there you go. The trade-off with the special teams stuff and all that, maybe that's something that you can deal with as well. But anyway, that's. I mean, who do you trust more to play? I will say this about Joseph: he played better this summer.
Mm-hmm.
His tape wasn't terrible, but I think that maybe some of the instincts, things like that. But
did they have turnover around him with any of the coaches? Because it seemed like they were so patient with him last year and wanted to go through all of that.
I think
and now 12 months later, it's so different.
Yeah, that was Dan's guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was Dan went to Lexington. And matter of fact, him and Quentin Bohanna no longer here. Those were two guys that Dan worked out. Will was there in Lexington for that workout, and they ended up drafting these two. All right.
That whole draft was bad.
Yeah,
I mean, outside, obviously, Micah and then Osa, but otherwise, you're going down the list of that 2021 draft, and I'm not sure how many of these guys are going to be on the team.
Okay, I went back and I looked up my college notes. This is just from the 2020. Maybe these are some things that kind of give you some clues about Noah. I said this: good-looking player physically, has ideal size and movement skills. Former high school track athlete. He shows the ability to stay with his man. Foot quickness, speed is not a problem. He plays with some start-stop quickness. Can be a hard guy to shake in coverage. Played the ball well in the air versus Alabama, but struggled some against LSU. Again, this is 2020. He has some balance issues. Didn't feel like he tracked the ball well enough in that game. Ability to carry receiver across the field, which I always love those guys that can do that. Do not see a great tackler here. Effort is good, but times results are not. There's some bad angles when he's trying to tackle, and that hurts him in trying to finish plays. Can see the athletic ability in his game. Can be good, but not great. That was my notes from. Do you remember anything about him yourself?
A lot of length. I thought he was a physical player. I didn't know that. What round did you have him graded in?
I had him in the third,
I thought he went a lot higher than I thought that he would have gone with Miami. I was surprised to see him be a first rounder. But hey, this makes sense. I think he's a true outside guy, and they were trying to work Joseph more inside, which means Jordan Lewis isn't going anywhere. I mean, they already basically have said, hey, he's going to be active for the 53-man roster. But I think John Owning made a great point on Twitter or X now that, moving from another inside guy and you draft a guy that purely is an outside player, they feel good about Jordan Lewis and Deron Bland now working inside.
Okay, I'm getting some reports or some guys filling me in on some things. It looks like that and some of the cuts, it looks like they're going to put Josh Ball, in fact, on the injured reserve. I felt like that he might be a guy that they keep for a day and then put him on, put him on injured reserve the next day. It looks like he's going to go straight to injured reserve.
So does that mean he's out for a longer period of time?
He's out for the year.
Oh, that's the whole year.
Yeah, the whole year. David Durden.
What was his injury?
He was the soft tissue hip injury. Is what he was dealing with.
Is that like a hip labrum? Is it significant, or do you think
there sounded like there was a tear in there?
Yeah.
It sounded like there was a tear. As also on injured reserve is going to be David Durden, the wide receiver, that they gave a pretty good signing bonus to the rookie. Overshone, we know about the knee. Stevens, we know about the knee. Okay. As far as Will Grier was officially released, Malik Jefferson will be officially released from what I'm gathering here. We said Trent Sieg, the long snapper. That's with the thought of bringing him back. Him and Adoga would be those vested veteran guys that you would waive, and then it allows to make some moves. They'll sign those guys back. Quentin Bohanna was mentioned as a guy. We talked about Jabril Cox. Malik Davis is another one. Matt Farniak is a guy that got Simi Fehoko is going to be on this list as far as when they do the cuts. Simi Fehoko, is any surprises there with Simi Fehoko at all?
I felt like Jalen Brooks, if they went 6, had taken that spot, but I do love you, Simi.
Brock Hoffman, we mentioned. Dennis Houston, we mentioned. Isaiah Land, that was a guy that I kind of felt like that maybe he was playing maybe well enough to kind of sneak his way onto the roster. I guess that's not going to be the case with him.
Yeah, that's a bummer. As long as he clears waivers, it's no big deal. But I think that's a guy who could be a legit pass rusher for you at some point.
Brian, do you agree that this roster is talented and they're letting guys go that are going to continue and have careers?
The ones that I wonder if a change in scenery will do, because I think Quentin Bohanna was starting to come around.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's one of those, he goes somewhere else. I really do like these coaches here, these defensive. I like AD and Dan. I think they do a really good job.
I think he's a good addition.
Sharif Floyd, I think they all do a really good job. He might be a guy that goes on and does well somewhere else. I'm interested in what Jabril Cox might do if he's claimed, because I think the ability is there. He just didn't show it enough. I think the injury got Malik Davis, I think, is another guy that could go to a team. The only thing I saw that was a problem with Malik Davis really was pass protection. Other than that, he catches the ball. He runs the ball tough. Maybe he goes on with somebody else and has an opportunity. Farniak, I don't know. Like I say, there's some teams that are dying for offensive linemen. Do they think enough of Farniak as being a possible guard, swing guy, center guard combination to make a claim there? Played plenty of snaps for people to get evaluations of him. Actually played when Zach Martin went down and during the regular season.
Yeah, thought he did a decent job last year. And then didn't they use him as a fullback too at times? Wasn't he in the
exactly?
Yeah, he swapped in for McGovern.
Yeah,
when McGovern got hurt.
I'm okay with Brock Hoffman being released. I mean, I could see them wanting him back. There was a lot of talk about him coming back. A lot of talk of him making the roster.
Well, you could tell they wanted him to. He was getting a lot of the looks early on, but it was never impressive.
Yeah, I think Archer mentioned he could be one of the guys they bring back, to your point, if he clears waivers, and then he might even be elevated for week 1 as your backup center.
Yeah. So, and also too, I'm getting kind of word that we talked about Ronald Jones. Remember, he's on a list. You don't have to waive him. He's on a suspended list, is what he's on. So. You don't worry about that at all with him. He goes to immediately that list, so he's gone for 2 weeks. If you want to bring him back in week 3, say you have an injury, something happens with one of these running backs, then in fact, he can come back. And then also too, I've got word that Alex Taylor Palou, the big long tackle, the number 72, that I felt like that there were some things that he did were pretty well. It probably needs a little bit more strength for him as a player.
I know what time it is then.
Yeah. But he's going to be
like, hey, why don't you link up with Ronald for a couple of
sit up with Falco.
Hang out with old Rojo for the weekend.
Yeah, and hang out.
We'll see you back in a couple months.
We'll see how this list, like I say, these are guys that I was kind of hearing about that they were going, but like I say, there's I gave you a little report on the new player, what the Gang of 7 thinks, and again the linebacker Christian Kirksey. Some people were asking me about that guy too.